Please be seated. Good morning. That's not going to do it. It's still class. You don't have the degree. Good morning. Better. Good morning and welcome to the December 25th commencement for the College of Business at Lamar University. My name is Henry Venta and I serve as Dean of the college. We gather today to recognize and honor our graduates for their tireless efforts, focused dedication, and deserved achievements in the demanding competitive arena of higher education. For years, our graduates have been striving to reach the educational milestones we celebrate today. Graduates, you have made it. Congratulations to each of you for achieving your goal. Now it is time to set new goals. We challenge you to continue to learn, to use your knowledge wisely, and to excel throughout the rest of your life. Our 130 graduates today come from 11 countries outside of the United States, 3 states other than Texas, and from 32 cities and towns in Texas. Candidates, many people have supported you throughout your life and studies. I would like for you to join me as we express our appreciation to them. Would the parents of our candidates please stand and receive our applause? Would the grandparents of our candidates please stand and be recognized? Would the spouses, children, and grandchildren of our candidates please stand and be recognized? And finally, would the friends and other relatives of our candidates please stand and be recognized? This morning, we share the joy and excitement of commencement with all of you. Thank you for joining us. At the heart of the college is a supportive and nationally acclaimed faculty. They have provided our students with a contemporary and valuable higher education that is second to none. Due to their diligence and efforts, our graduates are knowledgeable, highly skilled, worldly, and properly prepared for life and careers. Would our faculty please stand and be recognized? I would like to introduce our platform participants. Please hold your applause until all have been introduced. Dr. Kenneth Evans, President of Lamar University. Dr. James Marquardt, Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs. Dr. William Harn, Dean of the Graduate College. Dr. Kevin Dodson, Dean of the Rio Honors College. Marty Simmons and Bart Simmons, this morning's speakers, who will be introduced more fully in a few minutes. Dr. Kevin Smith, Senior Associate Provost, Mr. Craig Escamilla, Instructor of Management and today's vocalist. There's more rows, so you have to applaud later again. Dr. Casey Sen, Chair of Management and Marketing. Mr. Jeff Dyson, Director of the Master of Business Administration Program. Ms. Claire Burns, Director of the Master of Science and Accounting Program. Dr. Giselle Moss, Chair of Accounting and Business Law. Mr. David Short, University Registrar. Dr. Larry Allen, Chair of Economics and Finance. Dr. Bradley Mayer, Professor of Management, representing the Director of General Business Programs and Bachelor of Business Administration Online Programs. Dr. Kekoli Bandiopatié, Chair of Information Systems and Analysis. Dr. Tony Mulvaney, Professor of Business Law and one of our readers. Dr. Kaushik Ghosh, Assistant Professor of Management Information Systems and one of our readers. It is also my pleasure to introduce Conductor Scott Deppie and members of the Lamar University Brass Ensemble. Their music adds so much to this special occasion. Thank you. Candidates, let me again add my heartfelt congratulations and applaud you for accomplishing the significant educational milestone. The university degree that you are about to receive remains relatively uncommon in our nation and is truly rare throughout the world. Only 3 of 10 American adults hold a baccalaureate degree. The percentage is smaller among Texans and smaller still among Southeast Texans. By any standard or measure, you are positioned to join the educational elite in our society. You have completed a difficult, taxing, and costly journey from where you started years ago. Without question, perseverance has played a key role in your accomplishments. Permit me to illustrate my point. Would the candidates for the baccalaureate degree please stand for a moment? If you took 4 or fewer years to graduate, please sit down. 5 years to graduate, sit down. 6 years, sit down. 7 years. 8? 9? 10? Very good. Congratulations. Candidates, please know Lamar University is proud of you, the College of Business is proud of you, your community, state, and nation are proud of you, your family and friends are proud of you, and importantly, you should be proud of yourself. Your university education has equipped you to receive and enjoy the riches of the world and has prepared you to continue to learn as you move into a new life. Enjoy and use your education to its fullest, and you and everyone you touch will be more prosperous for it. It is my pleasure and honor to introduce our commencement speakers, Marty and Bart Simmons. So I invited them as a couple, so speakers. Marty and Bart Simmons were not thinking of a future in entrepreneurship when they graduated from Lamar University in 1978. Living on Marty's accountant salary at T.E. Moore of $1,200 a month, they were extremely concerned about scraping by and paying their bills. After Bart finished his MBA, they headed to Houston to work for Texaco as a package deal. From an early age, both Marty and Bart understood the value of hard work and a good education from their parents. Marty worked at Dairy Queen, Joske's, and B.F. Goodrich. Bart rolled silverware at Bonanza Steakhouse, worked at Philisac, and had a paper route and unloaded boxcars at affiliated co-op groceries. After having 3 children and working 14 years in the corporate world, they took the plunge and embarked on an interesting life as entrepreneurs. 24 years later, they are still at it, starting companies and creating jobs. Along the way, they partnered with other individuals as well as private and publicly traded companies. Regardless of the situation, Marty and Bart never wavered from their core values and optimistic approach to life. For the past 8,760 days, they have signed their own paychecks as they created and innovated new entities while at the same time raising 3 sons. Their grown sons have all graduated from college and understand the value of hard work. Marty and Bart currently have 7 grandchildren and 1 on the way. They hope to instill in this next generation the value of education and hard work passed down from their parents. The companies they have started have cumulative total revenues of over $2.5 billion. Over the past 24 years, they have created hundreds of jobs and employed many. Today, they focus their entrepreneurial skills toward their investment company, Best Investments, their oil and gas business, TriStar Companies, and their grass-fed cattle operation, the 2S Ranch and Store, the Provision House. The 2S Ranch became the 31st ranch in the nation to receive the USDA SBS grass-fed certification in 2015. The Provision House is one of the very few family-owned farm-to-table stores in the nation. In its first year of operation, the Provision House generated a respectable $80 per square foot in revenue. The store's online sales have already reached into 7 states. Marty earned a BBA in accounting from Lamar University and tough skin from being the mother of 3 sons. Bart earned his BBA in finance and MBA from Lamar University. Along the way, Bart accumulated the wisdom to know that you never walk into an open field that's holding a mean Black Angus bull. Please join me in welcoming to the podium Marty and Bart Simmons.
Good morning. Wow, y'all look awesome. But let's get started. President Evans, Provost Marquardt, Dean Venta, faculty and staff, distinguished guests, friends and family, and most important, the Lamar University College of Business class of 2015. We are so honored to be with you today. We are pumped to celebrate your accomplishments. We know hard work and perseverance brought you to this point. But we wanted to take a minute and tell you how we got to this point. So we were visiting with Dr. Venta back in October, and he mentioned to us that he wanted to do something out of the ordinary for the commencement address this year. He told us something about a couple with a unique perspective on life and business, and soon we realized he was talking about us. So thank you, Dr. Venta, for thinking we are out of the ordinary, and thank you for your kind introduction. But we wanted to give you a little more perspective, fill in some blanks about us. So Bart and I graduated from the Lamar University College of Business 37 years ago across the way in McDonald Gym. We got married a week later. That was a really busy time for us, so we understand how busy y'all are. We know you are so ready to receive your degrees, and deep down you're hoping that this commencement address will be short and sweet. And that's just the plan, short and sweet with a dash of humor and a little Texas charm. So with that in mind, I'd like to think back to 38 years ago when Bart asked me to marry him. We were both struggling students, working part-time jobs, taking full loads of classes every semester, as I'm sure most of you have done. Bart and I have been dating about 2 years, and during that time we had talked about everything. But 2 questions stood out to me. Bart wanted to know that I was a woman of faith, and he wanted to know that I was a woman that believed in saving money. I think because the answer to those 2 questions was yes, we had arrived at our special moment. Now, before I go on, I want you to know that Bart Simmons can be very romantic. But that day every girl dreams of, that day you dream that your beloved will drop down on one knee and poetically pop the question, my cowboy said, "Well, don't you think we'll get married after graduation?" To which I replied in rapid fire, "Is that a proposal? And will you wear an ascot at our wedding?" Bart said, "Well, yes. And what's an ascot?" Those questions of style, commitment, faith, and finance, sprinkled with a lot of humor, have been the touchstones of our adventure over the last 37 years. So Bart and I would like to tell you a few stories about us, about life, and about what's really important. Please know we won't give any advice with our stories. We'll let you draw your own conclusions. So they say life is all about balance, but sometimes, even with the best intentions and the best laid plans, things can go terribly wrong. I was thinking back to 1992. I think that's probably the year a lot of you were born, and smartphones were just a distant dream. We had 3 sons. They were 10, 8, and 4, and the day I'm thinking about was our oldest son's 10th birthday. We had just launched the TriStar companies. Bart was putting all his energy into getting the company off the ground. I was putting all my energy into keeping our family firmly grounded. Sometimes looking back, I think he had the easier job. For our son's birthday, we had planned a bumper bowling party. All the parents were gonna drop their kids off at our house. We were gonna load them up in my Suburban in Bart's car, and they would just fit. So when the last boy arrived with his mom stuffing tissue paper in a gift bag while she handed it to me, we started rounding up the boys and herding them out to the cars. We got them loaded and buckled in. Bart set the alarm and locked the house, and we were off. We got to the bowling alley and got them set up for the first game. And the bowling alley attendant that was assigned to our party, a young girl with half her hair shaved and the other half dyed pink, said, "You know, you paid for 14 boys and there's only 13 here." Bart and I started counting off boys, naming them one by one, and we looked at each other and went, "Christopher!"
Christopher St. John was dropped off at our house. I spoke to his dad. Christopher was not at the bowling alley. I frantically called the house, and I could tell by the quick dial tone that our alarm was going off. I jumped in the Suburban, and I drove like a madman back to the home. I was thinking, how in the world do we lock Christopher in the house, set the alarm, and drive off without him? This just wasn't good. Folks, this was not good at all. I rounded the corner to our street on 2 tires, and I skidded into the driveway right beside the police cruiser. There were 2 uniformed policemen at our front door. The alarm was making that terrible sound. Our front door was half glass back then, and it required a deadbolt to unlock it. Christopher was standing on the inside of the door, bawling. I walked up in my Hawaiian shirt and flip-flops and tried to explain to the police officers that yes, this was my house, and no, that was not my son. That is when they requested my driver's license, the keys to the front door, and they motioned for me to step back by the police cruiser. Christopher's parents were called. It was very awkward. There was a lot of apologizing and a lot of groveling on my part. I did get Christopher up to the bowling alley to bowl that last round and to have some birthday cake. And you know about little boys, birthday cake and ice cream and everything's a lot better. 4 months earlier, actually January of that year of 1992, I had prepared a business plan to start our own company. Marty and I had always talked about having our own business, but life happens. Climbing the corporate ladder, 3 children, a mortgage, car payments. I coached every sports team, family vacations. We got busy, we started having fun, and we got real comfortable. But our dream was always right there. The plan required that we put up money, equity. Well, that wasn't a problem. Like Marty said earlier, we were savers. Our business plan also required outside sources of funds. I floated the plan by several parties. Some liked it, others did not. But rejection is part of being an entrepreneur. A well-respected group of men in the oil and gas industry asked for more information. I had an appointment with one of the gentlemen at the Westin Hotel in Dallas for a breakfast. The night before, I polished my shoes, and I talked to Marty about what was the best power tie to wear with my best suit. The morning of the meeting, Marty was already up making breakfast for our boys. When I got up, something was not right. My stomach was killing me. Things got worse very fast. I finally made my way to the kitchen. Marty could tell something was not right.
When Bart came to the kitchen and told me there was no way he could make that meeting, I knew he was really sick. He had been working on that business plan for months. We were about to see our dreams set in motion. I asked him what time the meeting was. When he said 30 minutes, I handed him the spatula and ran to our room. I pulled my hair up in a ponytail and I put on the most businesslike outfit I could find. I grabbed my car keys and said, "What does this man look like?" He handed me his business plan and I was out the door. When I was driving to the Westin, I prayed for calm while pushing ideas of what am I thinking out of my head. Well, I got to the Westin and I was able to locate the man and introduce myself. And while he was very cordial, he looked perplexed as to why I was there and Bart wasn't. I told him the situation as delicately as I could. And then, using my best corporate tone, I told him Bart had put together a great business plan, and we were really excited to partner with this group. I told him that Bart was serious about meeting with them, and I was able to convince him to reschedule the meeting. When I got home, our house smelled like burnt toast. Bart was on the sofa hugging a pillow, but he perked up quite a bit when I told him I'd gotten his meetings rescheduled for the next week.
Marty had kept us in the game. In May of that year, we struck a deal with the gentleman. We started signing our own paychecks that month, and we have never looked back. The first 20 years of entrepreneurship, I managed the business, and Marty managed pretty much everything else. But regardless of what we managed, we were both all in. After 2 decades of being heavily weighted in the oil and gas industry, we started diversifying into other areas. We started Best Investments and began the process of making our 2S Ranch a commercial enterprise. In 2014, we wrote a plan for a ranch store and set up our website. The Provision House was born. We still needed a physical location. In January of 2015, we signed a lease to open a store in the shops of Promenade Center. Freezers and a lot of other equipment and fixtures were purchased. In February, we signed a deal with Holloman Farms to provide natural pork, cage-free chicken and eggs to go with our grass-fed beef. A sizable loan was made. A pork and chicken online sale was planned for April with a social media blitz to gin up excitement. On March 1st, Margaret Grace Little May was born to R.W. and Christina, the owners of Holloman Farms. They were our new supplier partner in the Provision House. Little May was born with an overwhelming birth defect and given days to live. Marty and I immediately put on hold everything to do with the Provision House. But of course, things were set in motion and bills continued to come in. Marty and I held firm, giving R.W., Christina, and their older children time to love and concentrate on Little May.
On April 16th, May passed away. We were at the ranch when we got word. And while we mourned Sweet May's passing with the Holloman family, we also celebrated her life and the impact she had had on so many people. From March 1st till way past April 16th, nothing was done at the Provision House. It was costly, but it was the right thing to do. When you put family first, everything else will always fall into place. In May, we started getting the program back going to get the Provision House started with a target date of 2 months to open. Now I've lost my place. And then on May 26th, a tornado hit our ranch. It destroyed a barn and did serious damage to several other buildings and equipment. We went into hurry-up mode. The month of June was a blur of activity, but on July 2nd, the Provision House opened as one of the first farm-to-table stores in the state of Texas. And we provide 2S Ranch grass-fed beef and Holloman Farm farm-raised pork, chicken, and eggs. And we also supply a lot of other wonderful and authentic provisions that I lovingly call my favorite things.
Recently, sitting on the breezeway, I had the time to reflect on our journey. 37 years ago, Marty and I walked across the stage, just as you will do in a few minutes. I remember Dr. Kimball looking me in the eye and giving me a firm handshake. Lamar had done his job. It was now up to us to earn an income, to create a life, and to start a journey. There were no excuses. We were the adults in the room now. We lacked wisdom, but that would come with more living. We lacked experience. We knew that would come with the years. But what we did have was ambition and desire. We were ready to create a seat for ourselves at the table of respectability and responsibility. We wanted to grow, to move back, but also to give back. We relied on our faith, family, and friends to help guide us. No doubt there would be choices, some easy and some hard, all with consequences. We hope our stories have been insightful. You will soon be creating your own stories, and that is exciting. Your journey will have roadblocks and successes, as is ours. There's an old cowboy saying, every trail has a puddle. For Marty and I, it was more about how we dealt with those puddles that mattered. Well, like a good cowboy, I would like to offer 4 lessons Marty and I learned while on the trail. Number 1, always double count the kids. If you abandon a team member, a friend, a loved one, or an employee, own it. Then go back and get them. Tell them you're sorry, grovel if necessary. Number 2, love someone so much you would do anything for them. When they need you, step up and step in. Say a prayer and just wing it. Number 3, pause for life's joys and life's heartbreaks. They trump everything else you may think is important at the moment. And number 4, and most important, always agree to wear the ascot. Marty and I offer our heartfelt congratulations to each and every one of you. Thank you.
Go ahead, you.
Thank you, Marty and Bart, for your remarks. Your comments are very much appreciated. So appreciated that I'm going to take advice number 2 and own to the fact that I made a mistake and I forgot something. So when I was introducing the platform party, it's also my duty to look over there and see who I forgot to introduce. So a special guest today in our audience is Cecilia Marquardt. Cecilia, would you stand up? Spouse of our Provost Jim Marquardt. There was no intention to leave you behind, but I own it, as they told me. The COB Commencement Committee has decided to have one of our own candidates for graduation deliver a speech at our ceremony. There was intense competition among a talented group of students, which included Amanda Buffington, Zena Hale, and Brittany Zapata. I request that these students please stand and be recognized. The committee selected Miss Abby Belair as our student speaker. Abby is the daughter of Craig and Jackie Belair and a graduate of Needleton High School. She is earning her bachelor's of business administration in marketing. Abby is a member of Beta Gamma Sigma and the Alpha Lambda Delta Phi Eta Sigma Freshman Honor Society. Her hobbies include dancing, reading, cooking, running, traveling, and spending time with family and friends. Future plans include acquiring a job in the marketing or real estate fields. Please join me in giving a warm round of applause to our College of Business student speaker, Ms. Abby Belair.
Thank you, Dean Venta. President Evans, Dean Venta, faculty, family, friends, and my fellow graduates. Good morning. My name is Abby Belair. I would like to start off by saying how honored I am to have been chosen as your student commencement speaker, and thank you to the College of Business Commencement Committee for allowing me this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. When I began college 3.5 years ago, I decided to strictly be a college student and to not involve myself with any of the on-campus organizations. I made this decision because during high school, I had been involved in everything imaginable. You name it, I was involved in it. I was constantly on the go, and on top of all of that, I had schoolwork to do. So when college came, I was adamant about just being a college student who focused on their studies and had a part-time job. However, now that I think back on it, These past 3.5 years have been the busiest years of my life. Even though I was just a college student, I somehow now had 3 part-time jobs to juggle. I taught dance 3 times a week from 4 to 10 p.m. I was a substitute teacher for Nederland Independent School District when I was not at school, and I worked at my mom's dancewear store on the weekends. On top of that, in the little free time I did have, I had homework to do, write papers, and meet with groups for projects. Yes, the high school days were busy, but the college days were busy in an overwhelming way. At times, I didn't know whether to laugh or cry at all the things I had to do in a week. Life was stressful. To add to that stress, I switched majors a couple of times because I just could not seem to figure out what to do with my life. I started with pharmacy, which lasted all of about 2 seconds before I realized, what in the world am I doing? I don't even like science. Then I switched to accounting. This seemed like a good choice at the time. My dad and my sister are accountants and seemed to love it, so I thought, why not? I'll give it a shot. Until I realized that it wasn't for me. I was completely lost at this point and about to be a junior in college. Then I switched to marketing and loved it. I finally felt a sense of peace with this choice, and life got just a little bit easier. In all of this, I realized that life had changed a lot during college. I had changed a lot. Also, things hardly ever went as I had planned. Had they, I would still be a pharmacy major and be applying to pharmacy school right now. Another thing I realized was that, though I worked a lot, school in the end took up most of my time, in a good way though, because I was learning. I spent about 3 to 4 hours a day in class, and then about another 3 to 4 hours doing homework. I wonder though, now that college has come to an end, what am I going to do with those 8 hours a day that were spent in a classroom or doing homework? What are we all going to do with this time now? Will we spend it at work or with family and friends? Will we finally have some quality me time reading a book, or will we binge watch that TV show we've been dying to see on Netflix? Or are we finally going to catch up on all that sleep we've been missing out on since freshman year? Our lives are about to change more than they ever have before. So today, I have some words of advice for us graduates. My first words of advice are to not fear change, something I admit I do too often. Change is inevitable. Some changes are small, and we accept those changes with no problem at all. However, some are big, bigger than we may be ready for. But we must see past whom we are now to embrace what we may become because of these changes. Change is going to happen whether we're ready or not. We knew this part of our life would come to an end one day, and that day just happens to be today. So do not fear this change, but embrace it. Second, do not worry when things do not go as planned. Worrying will never get you anywhere. We need not worry ourselves about what is supposed to happen or where we are meant to go, but instead we should lose ourselves in all the opportunities that are about to be presented to us. Opportunities that will lead us to be the person we are meant to be. So take that job or don't take that job. Go on that trip you've been dying to go on, or move to that city you've always wanted to live in. Always do what you want to do, whether it was originally in your plan or not. Life is constantly changing. So take that chance, take that risk, put yourself out there, and see where life takes you. Next, do not stress about the future. Live for today. Live for right now. Celebrate this amazing accomplishment of surviving your college years that led you to receiving your degree. Celebrate with your friends and family that have helped you through when you were at your breaking point. Celebrate because you've earned the right to do so. Life is too short to constantly be worrying about what is next, so take the chances that present themselves and let them change your life. My last words of advice are to never settle. Never settle on a job because it pays the bills or because it is convenient. Never settle on living in a city you dislike. Never settle on anything. Instead, find the career you've always dreamed of having, the career you would be so passionate about. Move to that city you've always wanted to live in. I hope for all of us that we may never settle, that we may live the life we have always dreamed of living. On a final note, I'd like to say thank you to all of our professors who've helped prepare us for this next chapter in our lives. Thank you, Dr. Frack, for being hard on us and truly making us think about why we make the decisions we make. Not just the decisions we will make in our careers, but the decisions we make in our everyday lives. Thank you, Dr. N, for teaching us that it's okay when we don't exactly follow the syllabus, for showing us that we are not robots, but actual human beings who live in a world where nothing is certain. Thank you, Dr. Sin, for talking to us about what is going on in the world and not just teaching us about marketing. Thank you for challenging us to know what is happening in the world on a day-to-day basis and not just what is happening in our own little worlds of social media. To our family, friends, and spouses, thank you for the constant support throughout the years and for always standing by us. Thank you to our parents. Thank you for the outpouring of love and support you gave us during the good times and the bad. Lastly, thank you to my sister, Amy Stafford, for being my shoulder to lean on, my person to vent to, and for all the direction you gave me when I was lost. Thank you to my mom and dad, Craig and Jackie Belair, for listening to me complain about endless nights of studying, my never-ending back and forth of not knowing what to do for the rest of my life, and thank you for loving me always. So congratulations, class of 2015, and good luck to all of you on your next adventure.
Thank you, Abby, for your inspirational remarks. You represent vividly the students that we're all here for. And all that shaking, I could see it, but nobody else could see it, okay? Now everybody knows. We'll now have the certification of graduates. President Evans, please join me. Will the candidates for the master's and baccalaureate degrees please stand and remain standing? Be all of you. President Evans, on behalf of the faculty of the College of Business, I am pleased to present the candidates who have met all the requirements for the listed degrees.
Thank you, Dean Venta. As some of you may know out there, you all represent my home discipline, so I'm particularly excited to be in front of you all today. I have the best job in the House. I get the opportunity to confer the end of your journey. So with that, I'm going to go to my official notification. By the authority vested in me and Lamar University by the Board of Regents of the Texas State University system, I confer upon you the degree for which you have been certified, admitting you to all the rights and privileges which throughout the world pertain to those degrees. In keeping with university traditions symbolizing change, topic of conversation today, please move your tassel from the front right to the left. Graduates, my sincerest congratulations. Please be seated.
President Evans and guests, we now have the presentation of the College of Business graduating class of December 2015. Beginning with the master's degree candidates, followed by baccalaureate candidates in the order published in the program.
Maybe I could do it from up there. Master of Science in Accounting, Todd Douglas Boatwright, Beta Gamma Sigma Honor Society. Matthew Howell Cook. Carrie Janelle Cox. Michael Edward Dobe, Jr., Beta Gamma Sigma Honor Society. Jonathan Lee Gay, second degree in Bachelor's of Business Administration and Accounting, magna cum laude, Beta Gamma Sigma Honor Society. Judith Christine Hart Hoffman, Beta Gamma Sigma Honor Society. Ishan Lalani. John Royce Lockhart, Beta Gamma Sigma Honor Society. Jenna Rose McCain, Beta Gamma Sigma Honor Society. Elizabeth Alexandria Padron, Beta Gamma Sigma Honor Society. G. Shaw. Hensei Emin Udonta. Master of Business Administration, Mike George Abedrabo, Beta Gamma Sigma. Joshua Lee Davis, Beta Gamma Sigma. Xavier Maria August Fayarts. Russell Cameron Frugier. Gwenda Lynn Goldman, Beta Gamma Sigma Honor Society. Amy Lynn Lavoie. Muhammad Asim Jamil Naeem. Theja Rube Nagisetti. Riyad Samad, Beta Gamma Sigma Honor Society. Johnny Lee Simpson. Tangila Tabassum. Lauren Gabby Mariette Van Gerven.
Bachelor of Business Administration and Accounting, and Nicola Marie Atkins, cum laude, Beta Gamma Sigma Honor Society. Gregory Ethan Barclay. Amanda Sue Buffington. Diana Rodriguez Cardenas, magna cum laude, Beta Gamma Sigma Honor Society. Julie Ann Casarelli, summa cum laude, Beta Gamma Sigma Honor Society. Roberto Michael Cruz. Amber Nicole Clan. Jordan Dean Martin. Maria Martinez, cum laude. Cord Hunter Peterson, magna cum laude. Desiree Michelle Riley. Gregory Thomas Rice. Ignacio Salazar. Lauren Iker Scully. Ashlyn Renee Tahane. Jasmine Marie Tibbs. Bachelor of Business Administration in Economics and Finance. Cecilia Trifosa Bethel. Kaylin Michelle Franks. Clifton Allen Hubbard Jr. Bachelor of Business Administration and Finance. Matar Matir Algatami. Alicia Renee Anderson. Gustav Linder. Charles Jacob Chalette. Dakota Corwell. Cole Edwards Durkin, cum laude, Beta Gamma Sigma Honor Society. Kufri Goodwin Inyang. You should have a card. Vanessa Washington. Bachelor of Business Administration in Advertising, Communications, and Marketing. Thomas Stan Tran. Bachelor of Business Administration in Advertising, Communications. Jessica Lynn Smith.
Bachelor of Business Administration in General Business, Entrepreneurship, and Management, Nakisha Jonay Thomas. Bachelor of Business Administration in General Business and Entrepreneurship, Anthony Jeremy James. Amir Ali Lakani. Bachelor of Business Administration in Entrepreneurship, Lymeria Alston. Bachelor of Business Administration in General Business and Management, Diane Elizabeth Como. Kaylin Danielle Ellis. Carolina Masso Duarte. Andrew Tyler McMullen. Danielle Lynn Rankin. Francis Xavier Shannon, cum laude. Bachelor of Business Administration in General Business, Camelia Parks Armstrong. Gregory Leon Deese II. Hannah Elizabeth Lang. Torre Lindveit. Jessica Renee Pierpont Thevis. Michael Austin Williams. Bachelor of Business Administration in General Business Industrial Engineering, Reginald Marcus Beggleton. Timothy Aaron Duhan II. Bachelor of Business Administration in Management Information Systems, Hannah Elizabeth Breitenstein. Miranda Diane Facette Coulter. Jasmine Ashafarali Duca, cum laude. Brennan Chase Doty. Darrell Thomas Jonte Haynes. Saud Mohammed Nagori. Joshua Hill Robinson. Bijan Kyle Williams.
Bachelor of Business Administration and Human Resource Management, Brant Robert Boudin. Zena Lynn Hale, summa cum laude, Beta Gamma Sigma Honor Society. Francis Sikiwara. Magan Dion Woodside. Brittany Michelle Zepeda, magna cum laude. Bachelor of Business Administration and Management, Lillian G. Bronson. Laura Ann Castile, cum laude. April Nicole Freeney. Ashley Ramona Hafford. Tolan Callie Jackson. Derek Allen Lalonde. Jeridian Robert McIlney. Austin Ray Rodriguez. Jamie Marie Shields, cum laude. Bachelor of Business Administration and Marketing. Abby Marie Belair, cum laude, Beta Gamma Sigma Honor Society. Perry Joseph Celestine. Xenia Dowling, summa cum laude, Beta Gamma Sigma Honor Society. Hillary Grace Haynes. Devin Lamar Miller. Cynthia Nugget UN. Miko Matthias Rajamaki. Shelby Bryce Renfros, cum laude. Thera Lynn Simon. Ryan Clark Wallace.
Please join me in congratulating our graduates one more time. Graduates, today you join more than 80,000 others throughout the world who are Lamar alumni. I would like to take this opportunity to extend to each of you an invitation to join Lamar's Alumni Association. Alumni membership provides continued involvement with the university and college by providing networking and opportunities to help other students achieve what you have achieved. I encourage you to join this important arm of the university. The Alumni Association has friendly people waiting to greet you and will be in touch. Of course, you can always find them through Lamar's website. Please join. Again, congratulations and thank you for sharing commencement with us. Best wishes to all of our graduates. Following the reception, we will host a reception in front of the Montaigne Center under the large tent. All graduates and guests are invited to mingle with our faculty, enjoy refreshments, and maybe even pose for a picture or two. I hope to see you there. Please stand for Lamar's alma mater.